In order to know if the Big Bang actually happened, it is necessary to know that what we understand by Big Bang is to be said in the beginning of the universe, when matter, space, and time were formed. It is said that the universe was in a state of very high density and temperature and then expanded. We date this moment is to approximately 13.8 billion years ago, which would therefore be the age of the universe. After the initial expansion, the universe cooled enough to allow the formation of subatomic particles and later simple atoms. Giant clouds of these elements later joined together due to gravity to form stars and galaxies. In 1927, an astronomer named George Lemaitre had a great idea. He said that many years ago, the universe began as a simple point until to expand its current size and could continue to expand. So everything we can see in our universe today did not exist in the beginning. Where did they come from? Well, from the Big Bang. We can observe the phases or stage to how the universe was formed or created. First, the age inflation. Second, the first component. Third, the first nuclei aged from 0.1 to 200 seconds. Fourth, the first atoms. 5. The Dark Age. 6. The first stars. 7. The triumph of anti-gravity. And 8. The universe in the present.
A black hole is a region of space with such intense gravity that nothing, not even light, can escape. It forms when a massive star collapses, creating a region called a singularity at its center, surrounded by an event horizon that marks a point of no return. These celestial objects are studied in astrophysics and cosmology. The first black hole ever discovered was Cygnus X1, located within the Milky Way on the constellation of Cygnus 1. The astronomers saw the first signs of black holes in 1964 when a sounding rocket detected celestial source of X-rays, according to NASA. According to the Space Telescope Science Institute, one of every 1,000 stars is massive enough to become a black hole. Since the Milky Way contains 100 billion stars, and our home galaxy must harbor some 100 million black holes.
Do you know that in 4.5 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda will collide? Okay, but what are the Milky Way and Andromeda? They are galaxies. Galaxies consist of stars, planets, and vast clouds of gas and dust, all bound together by gravity. The largest have trillions of stars and can be more than 1 million light years across. The smallest can contain a few thousand stars and span just a few hundred light years. The universe was formed around 13.8 billion years ago. The Milky Way is 13.6 billion years old, and Andromeda is about 10 billion years old. Scientists sometimes categorize galaxies based on their shapes and features. They can be spiral galaxies like the Milky Way and Andromeda, elliptical galaxies, lenticular galaxies, and irregular galaxies. Now, galaxies occasionally collide. This doesn't necessarily mean they will crash. Galaxies contain a lot of empty space, so they will create a new star formation due to the vast empty space between stars. Astronomers predict that the Milky Way and its neighbor Andromeda will collide in about 4.5 billion years, shaping the future of our cosmic neighborhood. If colliding galaxies don't have enough momentum to move past each other, they can merge to form a single larger galaxy.
The Milky Way is the galaxy where the Earth is located. It consists of a big group of stars, planets, and gas clouds in the shape of a Werner spiral, and an average 20,000 light years. At its center lives a supermassive black hole. It is possible to see the Milky Way with the naked eye on a clear night. This is because the solar system is located in a region away from the spiral. There are some interesting facts that you may like. First, it takes the solar system 225 million years to orbit the galaxy. Second, since its formation, it has completed 18 revolutions, so Earth is only 18 galactic years old. Third, it's estimated that in 4.5 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxy will eventually merge into a single massive galaxy. But why it is called the Milky Way? The name of the Milky Way comes from the Greco-Roman mythology, and in Latin means "white of milk."
Like people, stars are born, grow, and die. Their birthplaces are giant cold clouds of gas and dust called nebulae. These clouds begin to shrink under their own gravity. When the temperature reaches 10 million degrees, nuclear fusion of hydrogen into helium begins at the star's core, at which point the star becomes a red dwarf, the main stage of its life. A typical intermediate mass star is our Sun. It is young, only about 4.6 billion years old. It is a yellow giant, and in 7 billion years it will have matured into a red giant. But why doesn't the Sun illuminate space? Just because space is a near-perfect vacuum, where there's virtually nothing in the space between stars and planets to reflect light to our eyes, and with no light reaching the eyes, they see black. The lifetime of the stars can vary greatly depending on its mass. Bigger stars have shorter and more spectacular lifetimes, while less massive stars, like the Sun, have longer and more stable lifetimes. Knowing the life cycle of the stars, what is the relationship between them and human cultures throughout history? The stars have inspired myths and artistic masterpieces, guided travelers and explorers, and challenged and expanded our understanding of the cosmos. The stars continue to be a reminder of our connection to the universe, and a reminder that even in the modern era, the beauty and mystery of the night sky continue to capture our fantasy.
In astronomy, a satellite orbits around the planet. There are several satellites in our solar system, like MOONs, and 1,000 man-made artificial satellites that have been launched into space. How did satellites form? Natural satellites were formed mainly from clouds of gas and dust around the planets. What is the main source of energy for a satellite? The most important source of energy as a satellite is the Sun. The solar radiation is transformed to electricity for the operation of both natural and artificial satellites. The Moon. The Moon is the only natural satellite of the Earth and has many characteristics, like moon phases. The Moon goes through cycles such as new moon and full moon. On the Moon, the gravity is 1/6 about the Earth's gravity, and lunar seas. Lunar seas are no bodies of water but volcanic plains formed by volcanic eruptions.
The Earth is a planet in the solar system that revolves around its star, the Sun. It is the third of the 8 planets in the solar system. The Earth orbits the Sun once every 365 days. The Earth is also our home, the only place in the universe when we know with certainty that life exists. The Earth is formed more than 4.6 million years ago from a cloud of gas, and that's to give rise to our entire solar system. Our planet Earth has 3 layers, and they are the cortex, the mantle, and the core. The cortex. It is a superficial layer in the planet Earth. It is layer of which everyone lives. This layer extends from surface to an average depth of 35 kilometers. The mantle. It is the intermediate layer in the terrestrial planets or some other rocky planetary, and it is found between the core and the cortex. For a month to form the planetary body and now to have gone to the differentiation in terms in density. The core of the Earth, it is the central spheres that constitute the structure of the Earth, that composed for iron, nickel, sulfur, and oxygen.
Planet Earth is composed of salty and fresh water that covers 70% of the planet. There are 5 oceans known as the the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Antarctic Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean on Earth. The Atlantic Ocean is located between the America and Europe continents. The Indian Ocean washes the coast of East Africa, South Asia, and Australia. The Arctic and Antarctic are the oceans that we find on the poles. Although the Earth is mostly covered in water, we can find also the big continents. Asia is the largest continent on Earth. America is the second largest continent and is located on the weather part of the hemisphere of the planet. The Africa is the third largest continent and is located between the Atlantic and Indian Ocean. Europe is the second smaller continent. There are 44 countries that speak around 200 languages. Oceania is an island continent that is made up of Australia, some islands, and some archipelagos. In the American continent, we find a region called South America, where we live. My country is Colombia, that has a great cultural and environmental diversity. There is a small municipality called Ocaña that was founded on December 14, 1517, for Francisco Fernández de Contreras. It is a very beautiful village with amazing people where you and I live.
Anglosapiens,